The biggest reason people struggle to fix their own bike has nothing to do with tools or skill. It starts much earlier than that. Most people assume bike repair is just a matter of following instructions. Tighten this bolt, adjust that cable, replace this part. Simple, right? But the moment they actually try, things don't go as expected. A derailleur won't align properly. The brakes still feel off. The gears skip even after adjustment. And suddenly, what looked like a simple fix turns into frustration. So they try again. They watch another tutorial. They rewind. They pause. They follow each step carefully. And still, something feels off. At this point, it's not just confusion. It's doubt. Maybe they're not doing it right. Maybe they're missing something. Maybe bike repair is just harder than it looks. And that's where most people get stuck. Because the problem isn't effort. It's not even the lack of tools. It's how the learning process is structured. Most beginners approach bike repair the same way. They look for isolated solutions to isolated problems. Flat tire. Watch a video. Brake issue. Watch another one. Gear problem. Different tutorial. On the surface, that seems logical. But over time, it creates a fragmented understanding. You learn steps, but not systems. You know what to do, but not why you're doing it. So when something slightly different happens, and it always does, you're back at zero. That's when frustration compounds. Because now it feels like you've already learned this, but somehow you still can't fix it. Another layer to this problem is how most repair content is presented. A lot of tutorials assume a level of prior knowledge that beginners simply don't have. They skip context. They move too fast. They show what to do, but not what to look for. So instead of clarity, you get imitation. You copy movements without fully understanding them. And when your bike doesn't behave exactly like the one in the video, the whole process breaks down. There's also the issue of outdated or incomplete information. Bikes have evolved. Different models, different components, different configurations. But many guides don't reflect the complexity. So people end up applying the wrong approach to the wrong setup, without even realizing it. And that creates a subtle but important gap. You're doing something that should work, but doesn't. Which leads to even more confusion. At some point, many people just give up, not because they can't learn, but because the learning feels inconsistent and unpredictable. The real issue isn't that bike repair is too difficult. It's that most people are trying to learn it without a structured foundation. They're trying to assemble understanding from scattered pieces. Imagine trying to learn a language by memorizing random phrases from different videos. You might recognize words. You might even form basic sentences. But without structure, grammar, and progression, fluency never comes. Bike repair works the same way. Without a clear progression, from basic concepts to more advanced systems, everything feels harder than it actually is. And that's the turning point most people never reach. The moment where they realize, the real issue isn't the repair itself. It's the lack of a complete, connected understanding of how the bike works as a system. Once that shift happens, things start to make more sense. Instead of reacting to problems, you begin to anticipate them. Instead of guessing adjustments, you understand cause and effect. Instead of following steps blindly, you start making decisions. And that changes the entire experience. Bike repair stops feeling like trial and error and starts feeling logical. That doesn't mean it becomes effortless, but it becomes learnable, predictable, even satisfying. Because now, each small success builds on the last one. And instead of starting over every time something goes wrong, you're actually progressing. If you've ever felt like fixing your own bike is harder than it should be, there's a reason for that. It's not a lack of ability. It's the way the learning process is usually presented. Fragmented, incomplete, and often confusing. Once you start seeing the structure behind it, everything changes. If you want to explore this in more depth, there's a structured breakdown linked in the description that walks through how this learning process actually works step by step. And if you're interested in understanding systems like this more clearly, consider subscribing. Because once you see how things connect, learning stops feeling random and starts making sense.